Quit waiting for people to save you. Go fucking get it.
So today we have a very special guest on this channel. He's the author of Hyena and Hummingbird and also the host of Shade 45's All Out show, Jude Angelini.
What's
Um,
up?
you don't really like being called Rude Jude, do you?
It was nah. I come up with that name. That name was given to me back during the Jenny Jones days. I
Yeah.
used to do Jenny Jones, make fun of strippers, and they called me Rude Jude.
Yeah, I've seen some of those clips actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, my fiance was listening to your show today and he's like, Jude said that he was slaying the girls on Instagram. He's like, is that you? And I'm like, no, that's not me, but you got a lot of girls like trying to holler at him on his lives.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. The lives are really paying dividends. Who knew? I'm just trying to sell books on them bitches, but there's I guess you can sleep with women too, so you got that going for you.
Okay, so with Hyena and Hummingbird, I feel like that was like two different people writing almost. Do you feel like you changed a lot since you first wrote Hyena?
Yeah, Hyena was written from like '09 to 2012, and I was just younger, like
Yeah.
4 years later, I take another stab at writing, and it's just it's a little different. The first one is like I'm trying to fuck my way through a breakup,
Yeah.
and I might not say like my ex's name in every fucking story, but I'm usually thinking about her while I'm smashing, or at some point. Maybe not the whole time, but there'll be a still moment, and then my head will go back to it.
Yeah.
In Hummingbird, I kind of came to terms with what was. That one just explored a bit more about like what what being an adult is, sacrificing, standing up for yourself,
Yeah.
shit like grinding, a lot of
Definitely. Yeah.
sacrifice, you know.
Yeah. And I feel like you have been grinding really hard in terms of like trying to sell this book. Like you've been working with a lot of different people just on like podcasts and all that stuff to try and get the book out there as well. Which
Yeah,
like I really appreciate because actually you're just working with people that like don't necessarily have the same following as you also. And like with this whole YouTube thing that I'm in, a lot of YouTubers don't want to do that. Like they feel like, I don't want to collaborate with anyone unless I'm going to gain something out of it in terms of like a higher following. But, you're here and you're kind of just working with everybody to try and I appreciate that because it's like you don't feel like you're above anybody else. You know what I mean?
look, ever since I came up, like I always, and I don't. Please don't take this as I'm equating talking to you as fucking working a shitty job, but I've always worked shitty. Like look, I bet the pole. When girls fucking rub their ass on the
Yep.
pole at the strip club, I
Yep.
wiped that shit down. I was a rent a cop. I was fucking bus boy. Worked in the kitchens. Bathroom attendant. I would just do shit jobs. I didn't give a fuck because I understood that like you just got to work hard to go get it. And look, let's be real. Like your audience are people that I would never get a chance to talk to. Maybe we
Right.
have some overlap,
Right.
but I want to meet your audience. Like it's important to me to get this book out there. I feel like it's accessible for a bunch of different types of people. I would be doing myself a disservice by not being willing to grind and be willing to hustle. And even if like me talking to you sells 10 books,
Right.
it doesn't
Right.
sound like that much, but like that's 10 more people that never heard of me. And what does it cost me? A half hour of my time?
See,
Like
that's
was
I really appreciate that way of thinking, honestly. I feel like a lot of kids these days, they're just like, they haven't had that type of like come up where they had to work those shitty jobs, so they don't understand that aspect of really trying to get yourself to where you need to be by doing those kind of jobs. They have this sort
yeah.
of like entitlement.
Yeah, I don't know if it's generational or cultural or
Yeah.
you know, I'm lucky enough to be I'm like second generation fucking immigrant on one side, and then my mom, she's third generation, but my mother's work ethic is
Yeah.
She's a mother. She's a beast. She does landscaping.
Oh
Like I
wow.
grew up around people that do manual labor.
Yeah.
I grew up around. I see what hard work is, and she works way harder than I do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like she's got to go out and bust her ass. She's in her 60s,
Wow.
busting ass. Especially like I'm out here in LA, like no one mows their lawn, no one does any yard work. Like they hire immigrants for it, and I don't understand that shit. But that's my mama's doing that. So
Wow.
yeah, like how am I not gonna be on my grind? How am I gonna let my mom outwork me? You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Especially at her age too. That's hard on a woman at like 60,
Are
you
you
know.
fucking kidding me? Yeah, it's like, yo, she busts fucking ass, and my mom's been busting ass. My
Yeah.
grandfather, my nunu on the Italian side, he busts ass. Nobody, I just in my brain, nobody owes you shit.
Mhm. That's
Like
right.
nobody owes you shit.
Yeah.
So you have to go get it
Mhm.
if you want it.
Yeah, for sure. And and with that whole like, you know, you wanted to reach different audiences. There's that chapter called Heathen, which is basically like the outsider not belonging to a certain group. You were talking about trying to sell like 60K rugs, and you're like, hey, maybe interior designers might listen to rap, and you're like, scratch that, never mind, fuck that. They might not. What am I thinking? But you have like a future interior designer interviewing you right now, and I might need those rugs in the future. Who knows? I listen to
My
rap also.
Here's some of them right here. I fuck with those guys. Them sidebar shit like these are another group of guys I really respect. These
Yeah.
they came over from Afghanistan during when Russia invaded Afghanistan. They came over here as refugees. They had to go through Pakistan into Germany, then finally settled here. There's a family of 10. They started off by doing rug repair and just hustling, and now they have, now they have their own business. And I try to put myself around people that are hard workers, that think, that are smarter than me, that are more successful than me, and I just try to learn from them.
For sure.
They're strangers in a strange land too. It's like here's some refugees that are selling $60,000 rugs to millionaires.
Yeah, exactly.
And they have to learn how to speak that language, and then when they go home, they speak another language.
Exactly.
I think we all got to do that,
100%. That's why when people make fun of like Asians, let's say, who can't speak English, I'm like, dude, if you went to another country and you tried speaking that language or learning that language, it would be so hard to even find work, go to school, go where you need to be. Like learning 2 different languages is really hard. It's really tough.
Yeah, and you're talking about like actual languages, and it's on 2 different levels. It's like, yo, you think just because I speak English, I speak their language? I don't speak the language of a millionaire.
Right, and that too is different for sure.
They can spot the difference of class like this.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know how to mask it, if you don't know how to communicate with them, they can spot that. They see me coming a mile of fucking way. But that's something if I gave a fuck about that, I would figure out how to talk to them cats. And then to your point, it's like, yeah, it is hard coming over as an immigrant and learning the language. And I respect anybody that does do that. Like that, I also think if you're gonna migrate to somewhere, you should learn the fucking language.
Yeah, for sure.
And so respect the cats that are trying to learn that shit. Real talk.
Yeah, for sure. In that same chapter, you mentioned lyrics from the song Hummingbird.
Yeah.
I assume the book is named after that song.
It actually isn't. The book,
it's not.
No, it's not. It just the title came to me while I was in a K-hole on my couch. Just like my last book, Hyena, the previous book came to me while on ketamine in the bed.
Yeah.
I'll explain Hyena and then catch you up with Hummingbird. So Hyena is like this misunderstood animal that they have this visceral feel about the animal. Just when you say hyena, it brings up these emotions. People look at them as scavengers and gross.
Yep.
but to me, they're survivors. They're these things that are smaller than lions, that have to be smart to survive, that are intelligent hunters, that will either kill its prey or eat found shit on the road. And I felt like I had to be a hyena to get to where I'm at. Also, the hyena laughs through the grisliness of life. Like they have this cackle, and it's like laughing, but it's disemboweling an animal. And like that was really my tone for Hyena. That's really what I was pushing for. It's a bit funnier. It's grimy.
It is.
Yeah, it's grimy. Hopefully it's relatable. You know, hopefully people read past. You know, people read different things on different levels. So hopefully people read past, you know, the real grime and see the humanity in it. And then Hummingbird, I just, they're the symbol of joy in a lot of they're like this magical bird that's a symbol of joy in so many different cultures.
Yeah.
And part of me was kind of envious of the joy that they had. And then I really looked at them, and they work very hard just to stay in the same place. They bust ass just to float. And one might even argue that there's a bit of stagnation because they're not going anywhere. They're just floating. You know, they travel, but like just generally speaking. And that's kind of what it worked for me on a couple different levels. One, I talk about depression and just dealing with depression, and it is extremely hard just to get up and kick yourself in the ass every day and go do it. But here's the deal, like, if that is your reality, quit fucking complaining and just do it. Like that, you got to do it every day. You know, like, so that's reality. Go fucking do it. Yeah. And then also, it's just like being an adult. Like, not everybody has the luxury to have like some crazy awesome job where they go do something different every day. Most people, it's a grind. So Hummingbird it kind of addresses like the grind of life, where we're trying to find meaning and joy in it. And it's like you're trying to find joy in the grind.
Yep. Yeah, totally. Well, I honestly thought that it had something to do with the song, but that's a really, really good explanation of what that represents to you.
It literally just came on accident. on accident, and I thought it was a really nice way to. It was a nice button at the end of that story to tie it together.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when I came up with the idea for Hummingbird, because I didn't know what direction I was going to take that book. When I came up with the idea for Hummingbird, I went and sat down right over there. That's right to my right at the picnic table. Awesome. I sat down over there at the picnic table, and I wrote the piece about my Italian grandparents kind of becoming addicted to gambling, and then how it had their health deteriorate. And that was going to be the tone, about addiction, about acceptance, about loss, and that was the tone of the book.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely do talk about family a lot. Your family experiences growing up, they've been super like dysfunctional, just broken, and you've had to witness a lot of like domestic violence, which I had to as well. And I remember you guys had a psychiatrist like assess you and John on the show. So she said that you had like OCD, PTSD, depression, anxiety. That's like all this stuff that I've been going through for the last like decade. So I definitely understand how family experiences can cause that later on. And it's really hard to just kind of deal with it. And the way you express that in the book, it was very relatable, definitely.
Do you relate it to that one? You felt that?
I have cried. Like there was like an after effect after this book. Like I was fucked the next day. I was so sad. Like I had to process everything, and it made me want to text my dad even, like, Dad, I love you. Like I never really talked to him, you know. It made me want to get in touch with the people who mean a lot to me and help me get through all of that stuff.
It's hard when you see like one parent hurt the other parent.
100%.
It's half of you, you know, like that's half of you. That's my dad. I love him. Or that's my mom. I love her. And when they behave in these ways that, you know, it's heavy for a child to see. It's hard for a child to process.
It really is.
Like Like I'm welling up just hearing you talk about it, you know, because I get it. Like I understand, and it's a common thing. Like it, because you know what, man, it's like we're fucking human, man. We make mistakes. We do dumb shit. We don't know how to fucking deal with stuff. I remember, like I was telling the shrink this shit. Like I thought like a man when he got mad he punched the fucking wall because that's what I learned from my dad. And I remember like scaring the shit out of my fucking. I was never gonna put hands on my ex, you know. But like just me wilding out and hitting the fucking wall, I didn't understand in my brain. I didn't understand why she was so afraid. And
Wow.
to me, that's just what you do. That's what my dad did. I'm sure that's what his dad did, and that's what his dad did
Yep.
for the last fucking 500 years. You dig what I'm saying?
No, for sure. And it's like us knowing that, and we had to witness that, we have to be the ones to try and assess that and break that cycle so that we don't repeat those behaviors and hurt other people around us that we care about a lot. You know, and
It's
it's hard though because those type of things that you witness, they're like embedded in you. They're like a part of who you are, and it's so hard to fight that all the time. Like I gotta fight this, and I can't repeat this because that's the shit that I hated growing up.
or almost as like, am I tripping because I'm, you know, like, is this really a problem, or is this like some shit from my childhood that I'm creating a wedge because of the fucking shit? Uh, I feel like as long as we're self-aware about what we do and why we're doing it, that's where change comes. We're not always. I wish we're not always as self-aware as we need to be, but it's something to strive for.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad, and that's the kind of the thing. It's like, look, man, I'm sure you and I had totally different backgrounds, and you know, we're different cultures, but like there's that, like that's the shit that just everybody can relate to, and hopefully like the book doesn't leave you feeling sad forever.
No, no.
Yeah, like I don't want it to be a total fucking downer, but like I just wanted it to. I don't know. I just wanted people to. I don't know what I want. Actually, you know what? I don't even know what I wanted out of that book. I just needed to process some shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I put it down on paper, and whatever people got from it, that's what they get from it.
Well, I think it was very inspiring because that's a lot of stuff you wrote is really hard for people to even try and discuss, like begin to discuss. You really let people into your world when you wrote all of those details. Like, how are you so comfortable knowing that these really specific, graphic, like sometimes embarrassing details are out in the public?
There's a strength in vulnerability.
Yeah.
If I peel everything off, then what else can you do to me? I'm already naked. I stand naked in front of you. What else can you do to me?
That's right.
What are you gonna do? Judge me? You're not gonna like me because of that. I like me. You know what I mean? Like, to be misunderstood is frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
To be judged sucks. To be dismissed is the worst. But what are you gonna do? Like, you just put it out there. And this one in particular, it was very hard to write. There was a lot of stuff I to this day, you know, that I'm embarrassed about, that I'm not proud of.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it served a greater purpose.
Definitely.
I really want people to. My main thing is about just standing up for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and being your own man, woman, or whatever fuck, you know, just owning your shit, standing up for yourself, being self-reliant,
Mm-hmm.
quit waiting for people to save you, go fucking get it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like with mental illness, it's hard because it really does stop you sometimes from living a normal functioning life. And that's something you actively every day cannot succumb to. Like, you have to really push through it. Like, I don't take any medication for that stuff.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to just deal with it head on for me. Like, I know for you, your way of coping is kind of, you know, being a functioning addict. For me, it's like, that's the opposite. Like, I am afraid of any type of drug. Like, I used to do it when I was younger, but now I'm just like, I am sober 100% of the time. you know, and it's like everybody has different ways of dealing with mental illness, you know, and writing for you was probably a really great way to express a lot of what you were holding in internally.
Yeah, and a lot of times like you write shit and like there's certain stuff that like I put down on paper that I didn't even realize was happening as I like when there's a scene in there when I'm selling where I like try my hand at selling crack.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I'm like posted up in this room with this fucking father that's a dope fiend that hasn't seen his kid.
My God.
And is addicted to this drug, and he's like trying to bargain with me. He's trying to like trade me dope for isotoner drugs for gloves for some dope.
Yep.
And you know, as I wrote it, I didn't think anything of it. And then, you know, I go back and look at it, and then there's like, damn, there's a similarity between me and this man where I didn't raise my daughter, and I am, you know, I'm using drugs as a crutch. Mm-hmm. And then you see it between my father and me, like you don't realize. Yeah. You don't realize it when you're writing it, and sometimes you can take a step back and be like, damn, that was deeper than I thought it. You know, that was deeper than I thought it was. Mm-hmm. That had more layers to it than I thought it did.
Yeah. And that's what I think is really cool. Like when people, you know, listen to your show, they probably perceive you in a certain way, but they wouldn't expect somebody like you to write something so full of emotion and with a lot of depth to it, you know?
Yeah. You know what, like the show is, I want the show to be like this, you know, for anybody that doesn't know, I do like a hip hop show, Drive Time on the Eminem station on Shade 45. And I want the show to be this bastion of just kind of like shit talking. Like, I just like, you know, I try to stay apolitical. I try to fucking just shit talk and like keep it light. I don't want it to be too fucking overly, you know, I don't want it to be too cerebral. Yeah. And I do that all on purpose. I don't want to alienate anybody. You know, I try to slide in some cool ideas here and there, bring in authors and shit like that. Yeah. But the book is me getting to just write about me and just write about the things. I don't have to dumb it down.
Exactly. It really did feel like it was very true to who you were. That's what I really loved about the book. It's a very, it's written a very different way. Like the chapters are pretty short. It leaves you wanting to know more about all of these memories. And that's what kind of gets you flipping through the pages, even though the content is quite heavy to process. Yeah. Do you think that if you were to write again in the future, like once you're done selling Hummingbird and all that, that you would write again in the same type of style, or would you ever kind of experiment with different writing styles?
Yeah, like nothing's off the table. Here's the deal. Like I was on this panel the other day. My publisher had me sit on this biography panel, and like I was talking about like how I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, because I don't know the rules to break them. I didn't go to college. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I was literally in English class with kids with helmets. You know what I mean? Like straight up didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I just write in the way that I know how to. Mm-hmm. And my publisher was like, you don't have to fucking press that you're autodidactic so hard. And I'm like, what the fuck is autodidactic mean? He was like, it's self-taught. I'm like, well, clearly I don't know what the fuck, like, I do, because I don't even know what that fucking means, bro. I wrote this way because I don't know how to write another way. I don't want to limit myself and not learn more things. It works for me. The style, the short story and essay style works for me in that we live in a time where people have very short attention spans. So for me to give them a beginning, a middle, and an end in 600 words is beneficial. Like it's just my style of writing actually lends to the time that we're in.
True. So very true.
That being said, like, it would be nice for me to learn how to do some fiction, because the books have a lot of hard living in it, like it's a lot of hard living in them books. So I don't know if I could sustain that for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean that is what makes it really interesting. It's definitely a different read. That's why I try to suggest it to everybody because I feel like no matter what type of book you like to read, like anybody could read this and be like, "Yo, that was so shit." Like is
Yeah.
awesome. It was a really good read. Like I read it in like a day and a half or 2 days or something like that. But it was really heavy stuff. When you were younger and you were like, growing up in your teenage years, what did you see yourself doing as an adult for work?
It's funny, I didn't have. I often forget about this because I'm so far away from it now. But
Mm-hmm.
like growing up, we grew up poor. We grew up poor, like we were working poor,
Yeah.
and there was an insecurity to that. Like you didn't know, like you would get in the car and you didn't know if you're gonna get to the place you were going. You didn't, there wasn't food in the fridge a lot of times. There was like, I mean, I don't know how many times we'd have to stop at it. Like you're hoping you get to the gas station and then you got to scrounge up whatever change you have. And it's
Yeah.
like, let me get 37 cents on pump fucking four.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and when you're in that mind state, sometimes for some people, and this was for me, I didn't have hope for anything. I didn't hope for anything.
Wow.
I had no plans. I didn't hope. I didn't see myself as anything. I just was worried about like I wanted like cool shoes and I wanted to be able to like wear wear nicer shit and fit in more or maybe get a girl to like me. I wasn't even thinking about like
Wow.
the future. I what it what made me think about the future was I broke my neck. And it was one of those, you should be crippled and you should be dead. It was like one of
Oh
those,
shit.
and actually breaking my neck gave me hope. And that made me start thinking that maybe, like, maybe life is worth living. Maybe I should start planning for some shit. Maybe, and I was going to be a teacher.
Oh
That
really?
was what, yeah, I was going to be a teacher. I figured even this is kind of pragmatic. I was like, yo, dude, I'm a fucking white dude. They're looking for male teachers. Not like I didn't have fucking ends. Like people like it's like you need to have ends at these companies. It's not like, oh, you look like you check these boxes, you have the job. So I was like, I don't have any connects anywhere.
Yeah.
They're looking for males, so they're looking for more male teachers. So my plan at 18 was be a fucking kindergarten teacher and fuck single moms.
Oh my god. That was very calculated, Jude.
I know I'm a calculated dude.
Holy. Oh my god. Well,
It didn't happen that way, but now here I am.
yeah.
Fucking, now I'm the
Working.
white dude in hip hop. So boom,
I
you got
know. I mean,
use what you got.
that's crazy though. I mean, you're working for Eminem right now, right? And you interview a lot of like artists that are legends, like Method Man, all of that stuff. I'm like, damn. And now I'm interviewing you, and it's kind of crazy
Yeah.
to me. I want to talk about like your past relationships a bit. Do you feel like if you were to get in another serious relationship in the future, like what do you feel like you would be a different person now and like do things differently after learning from your past relationships? Like
Definitely.
what would you do
Definitely.
differently?
Um, check myself to see if I'm sabotaging something.
Yeah.
If because my fear of intimacy, if it's really a problem or I'm creating a problem.
Mhm.
Uh, be more accepting
Yeah.
of the person. Be patient and be kind.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I would really work on. Uh, I wasn't a total fucking asshole, but like those, I wasn't. I was with them. I was with both. I had two loves in my life. I was with them on and off for 5 years apiece. Um, we obviously felt something for one another. I just didn't have the tools. I just did not have the tools to have a relationship at the time, and and I'm working on it. Look, yo, I'm still gun shy. I'm 40, and just had a booty call last night. You know what I mean? And my today, I'm not sure. Like, who the fuck knows? And I'm not even gonna change the sheets because I'm fucking disgusted.
My god, Jude.
I know, right?
Okay, well, if you were to get in a serious relationship, let's say, would you want her to have like the same type of like drug habits as you, or would you want her to be like the complete opposite to try and keep things straight?
No, she just got to do her thing. She just got to accept me and me accept her.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me, especially out here. Like, I come from a certain it's like I'm a hippie kid that comes from a low class environment. So like I don't fit in a bunch of boxes.
Yeah.
So. And I find it extremely hard to relate to the upper middle people that come from the upper middle class.
Yeah.
I got tons of great friends from there, but like, there's not a ton of people that are from where I'm from that are living out here amongst me. I am surrounded by people from a different class, and I almost feel like this. I feel like a constant outsider.
Yeah.
Their worldview is they're pussies. I don't understand, you know.
Why are they pussies?
Because things have been given to them,
right?
And they make them softer.
Right.
I don't know how else to say it. Why can't we just be blah blah? I'm like, you think that's how the world works? Like, you're saying that while your dad is helping you pay rent. Like, you're not even living in you're not even. Or even if he's not helping you pay rent, he has propped you up all the way to this point. It's like, you're not living in a reality that I'm from, and it's very hard for me to connect with a lot of people on that level. And it's crazy that that's more of a. They don't have to be like that. We just have to be able to. They don't have to be from the same place as me, but we have to be able to hear each other out and respect where each one of us come from. It'd be nice if they like to do drugs every now and again, because like drug sex times love sex is fucking awesome. That shit is rad. It's bananas.
That is like your thing.
Yeah, I love that. I'm a fucking look, man, I got issues. I'm a sex addict. I like eating. I like fucking. I like the senses. I love music.
Yeah.
I love all that shit. It's just I zone out in it. So yeah, I think it would be important that someone just has an appreciation for art. That I would like that.
Yeah, for sure. Are you still resentful for anything that's happened, like within your family? Do you still hold a type of resentment with your parents at all? Like, you've fully forgiven everything that's happened?
Here's the deal. It's like. Look at me, I'm biting my nails. My parents are what they are.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't resent them for the past. Unfortunately, a lot of times you still see that behavior continue on into the present.
Yeah.
And that makes things a bit difficult. But love is acceptance, so you have to accept them on their terms. And you know, like, look, it's not. I just have boundaries. I have boundaries so that I don't get hurt by my loved ones. You know, like, so I'm not mad at my dad or my mom.
Yeah.
I love them. At times I'm frustrated with them, but who doesn't get frustrated with their parents?
Yeah, for sure. Like, you feel like with those boundaries, you feel like you put up walls purposely, like not to.
Like, you kind of, you know, like, not to give too much away, but I've had a very, with both sets of my parents, I've had a very, you know, the hardest thing for me is, like, my mom was there, but she really wasn't there. She was doing her own shit while we were growing up, and we were left on our own a lot. And now to me, it's overbearing now that she's, and I don't know how to deal with it, because I'm like, yo, hey, man, you moved away when I was 17. Me and my sister was paying our own rent and going to school. Like,
wow.
Like, why are you hollering at me now? Like, I love you, Mom, but fuck, dude. Like, quit calling me so fucking much. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not used to this.
Yeah.
I'm not used to this behavior. Now that you're ready for it, I'm not used to it. Please, can we continue on? in this fashion. It doesn't mean I don't love my mom to death. I do. I do love my mom. And the same thing with my dad. He's a narcissist. He's not going to stop being a narcissist. It's just you deal with, you know, like he was mad at me for writing the book and all that. And I'm like, yo, man, you should be proud of me. Like, no, like, look where we're from. No one wrote a book where we're from. And you're mad at me for that shit.
Yeah. Like he wasn't comfortable with you revealing a lot of the past in Hyena. I mean,
it was some heavy shit, but it affected me. And the thing was like, look, man, heavier shit happened that wasn't part of my life that I didn't divulge because it's not my fucking business. I'm just talking about stuff that directly affected me.
And with that stuff, like, have you ever gone to therapy on like a regular basis for any of that kind of stuff, or like is that something you would consider doing after that whole assessment on the show?
Yeah, I was like, look, I was trying to go to therapy a while ago, and I just been having such a tough time with it. It's so hard finding a therapist. And even then, even like with the therapy, like I bring my own fucking, like I literally was gonna try to fuck the therapist, like, cause I'm a man. Like, oh, I want to fuck her. Yeah, let me see if I can knock that down. Like, there's some deep-seated issues in there.
Why don't you look for a male therapist then, so you don't try to like fuck him?
Try to fuck the male therapist.
Yeah. Maybe look into that, because I mean,
that is interesting, right? I don't know.
It might help. But
yeah, you're right. Look, man, I think everybody can benefit from therapy.
Yeah.
It's just I got trust issues, so therefore it's hard for me to trust. Here's someone I'm giving my fucking innermost to. I did tap therapy like with the PTSD dude, and it really helped.
Oh, did it? How long did you do that for?
I just did it a few sessions. I'd never been more exhausted. I probably should continue on doing it, but it was actually really hard.
It's very hard.
He did it for veterans.
Wow.
Like back from the war. And apparently a lot of us that we don't even realize it. Like if you grow up in a abusive house, like especially when you're little, like you got PTSD.
And like some of my family members don't understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I tried to tell my aunt, about my dad and like what happened and all this stuff. And she's like, he would never do that. Like so many people back in the Philippines go through the same thing and they're fine. Like, why do you have this? Why, and I'm like, I can't help it. That's just how it is. And like, I'm very open with talking about mental illness because when you try to suppress it, it's like, it makes it so much worse and it just gets in the way of your life. So now I'm just very open about it with everybody. And I too went to like intensive trauma therapy and it's very exhausting. Like I know exactly what you mean. You cannot do anything afterwards. You just have to process what happened and that's it. Like you're like done for the day. It's hard.
I wanted to do the show afterwards and I felt retarded. I felt
like, oh my God, how did you do that?
I don't know. I just kind of muscled through it and the show probably sucked. Who the fuck knows? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, that's it. That's that. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. We went a little bit over time, but thank you so much for being on the channel. It's been awesome talking to you and
really good talking to you too.
Yeah. I love the book. You guys need to get this book. All right. I don't care if you read or not. Just you guys, I'll link everything in the description and I'll include your social media and all that as well. So
I appreciate it. Yeah. And even if you guys are still a little iffy on it, like read the reviews or.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's just basically this, and it's basically like this, except for stories.
Yeah.
Just us talking. Mm-hmm. All right.
Thank you so much, Jude.
I appreciate you.
Thanks so much.
And when you're ready to holler at them rug boys, you holler at me.
I definitely will. Thank you, Jude.
All right. See you now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Fuck. I was sweating that whole time. Just like, didn't know what to do with myself.